Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix this bad boy together. Guys, I'm not just going to tell you what's going on, I'm going to tell you how we're going to correct it. All right, so what I'm going to walk you through right now is a contentious point in our space right now. The merger between the ATF and the DEA. Guys, I'm going to be candid with you. I've done some research. I don't think that they can do this. I do not think that there is a viable way that they can make this work outside of getting 60 votes in the Senate, which they are highly unlikely to get. Now, everything that I'm going to show you right now is going to be sourced in the description box below. I always bring the receipts, and let me know what you think of the content and if I land this plane, if it makes sense to you, because I want to know your thoughts. Because like I said, this is a very contentious topic. Of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on if you are here not only to figure out what's going on, but what we're going to do about it, because we've got some freedom to pass to the next generation. Let's get into this, my brothers and sisters. We're going to jump over to my X profile, at Braden LOA on X. Get over there. It's amazing. It's a party. It's a totally different vibe than YouTube. It's awesome. But I want to show you something that we covered yesterday, because the Senate parliamentarian pretty much nuked this option of merging executive bureaucracies together from orbit through budget reconciliation. That's very important because it was in the one big beautiful bill, okay? This is a video I did yesterday. Check it out. It's on my X profile. Breaking video drop. The Senate parliamentarian nukes the ATF and DEA merger outside of Congress, requires 60 plus votes, which makes it next to a cold day in hell possibilities. Pretty accurate. I mean, kind of agreeing with myself, but whatever. It's linked right down there. You can watch that video. But guys, the important part about this is what she said and what this leads to, because I'm about to show you congress.gov and the actual rules and regulations of how they would do this, and I don't think that there's a way, okay? Development. This is something I posted yesterday with the parliamentarian. On the same day that the parliamentarian rules the executive branch cannot merge or eliminate federal agencies, AG Bondi is advocating in testimony through basically the stuff that you're seeing all over right now. It can't go through reconciliation. It has to go through Congress with the filibuster. Researching heavily as it seems the two hands aren't speaking to each other. Well, I dove in a little more deeply and I found some stuff you guys need to see. Send this one out, please. Everyone needs to be aware of this. So this is what they came up with yesterday. The Senate parliamentarian may have just stopped the ATF and the DEA merger fully. More to come. Here's what I posted. Additionally, the parliamentarian advised against a section of the bill that would allow the executive branch to reorganize federal government agencies or eliminate whole agencies without congressional oversight. That's going to make an appearance here again in a second. The parliamentarian ruled these provisions violate the Byrd Rule and are not eligible to pass the Senate with a simple majority vote on the procedural fast track known as budget reconciliation. So it got kicked out of reconciliation because it was in the one big beautiful bill. The same thing with the Hearing Protection Act, same thing with the Short Act, same bill. This got smoked, and it's important because when you look at all of the concern that's being raised, which is 100% valid, it's absolutely valid to bring this because it's not a good thing. We do not want this. But I don't think that it's possible. Watch. Firearms Policy Coalition. Merging the ATF with the DEA is a massive leap in the wrong direction. That is absolutely correct. Gun Owners of America. This one is important because this is the actual language of Representative Clyde talking to AG Bondi yesterday about the ATF and DEA merger. I'm going to quote real quick and then I'll show you what's possible and what's not from congress.gov. Our budget includes $1.2 billion and 2,444 agents for ATF. We will reduce unnecessary regulatory efforts, including what I just said about the weaponization. That's how I believe ATF was weaponized in the prior administration. ATF has taken thousands of guns off the street since January 20th, working hand in hand with the DEA. Drugs and guns go together. Quote, what we're doing as ATF is going to be brought over with DEA. Now, this is an important language that she's using, brought over. Okay, listen to this. ATF agents will not be knocking on the doors of legal gun owners in the middle of the night asking them about their guns. So we are reorganizing ATF agents. Incredibly important. Reorganizing ATF agents. Remember that phrase. They want to be out on the street. We will not be having ATF agents go to the doors of gun owners in the middle of the night asking about their guns, period. Okay, this is really important because of this word right here. I'm going to hit this really hard. Reorganizing ATF agents. That is not merging those two organizations because, again, going back to Exactly what the Senate parliamentarian said. You cannot get this through the budgetary process. The Byrd rule applies, and that got removed. It is impossible in a budget reconciliation package. That budget is what they're talking about with merging the ATF and the DOJ. The entire thing with Pam Bondi in this testimony was for the budget of 2026. This would have to pass through the budgetary concerns, and they cannot do it, which is why you're hearing words like reorganizing ATF agents, okay? This is the important piece, and I'll wrap this really important enchilada right here, okay? This is it. This is the nuts and bolts. This is what you need to see and send out. The Constitution establishes roles for both the legislative branch and the executive branch regarding the operation and organization of federal agencies. Congress has significant authority pursuant to the Constitution to create and maintain federal offices and can structure the federal bureaucracy as it deems appropriate. Legislative enactments create executive agencies and delegate authority to those entities to carry out various statutory functions and duties. Okay, we know that. This part. As the head of the executive branch of the government, the President implements and oversees the execution of the law. The President, therefore, has the power to establish agency policy priorities, exercise enforcement discretion, and execute permissive authorities as he deems appropriate in accordance with the law. That's important, coming back in a second. The President exercises control over executive agencies through his powers to appoint and supervise the officers that lead them. The President and the executive agencies created by Congress are bound by the laws creating the agency and endowing them with the authority to act. The Supreme Court has established that agencies are creatures of statute and possess only the authority that Congress has provided. Therefore, this is why this is in red, the court has indicated that if an agency desires to reorganize its internal structure, it can only do so if Congress has authorized the action. Okay, I'm going to pause there really quickly. Only if Congress has authorized the action. Look what the Senate parliamentarian just said. The part of the bill that would allow the executive branch to reorganize federal government agencies or eliminate whole agencies without congressional oversight has been tossed out. The parliamentarian ruled these provisions violate the Byrd rule and are not eligible to pass the Senate with a simple majority vote on procedural fast track known as budget reconciliation. Reconciliation is off the table. This is no longer something they can do with 50 plus 1. They now have to have 60. The ATF and DEA merger, it says right here, clear as crystal in the red, therefore the court has indicated that if any agency desires to reorganize its internal structure, it can only do so if Congress has authorized the action because Congress is the one who established it. Still, in establishing agencies, Congress often provides agency heads with a degree of discretion to structure their offices internally. Agencies rely on both agency-specific and general application statutes to establish, modify, consolidate, or transfer offices within the agency. Okay, there's two more pieces you have to see. Efforts to reorganize executive branch agencies through the structural modifications or transfers of statutory function must align with the existing statutory authorities. Courts may enjoin agency reorganizations that exceed the agency's statutory authority. Guys, the courts are going to block this if they try, and they can't get it through Congress. Watch this. This last piece is important. Structural reorganizations. Again, this is on congress.gov. It's linked in the description box. I always bring the receipts. One manner in which Congress exercises plenary control over federal agencies is by establishing the structure of those agencies upon their creation. Structural characteristics can have implications for how an agency functions, its relationship with the President and Congress, and how its programs get prioritized. Among other structural determinations, Congress makes decisions regarding an agency's placement within the executive branch and the agency's internal organization. To the extent that Congress establishes an agency and delineates its structure in statute, the executive branch is bound by those laws. Guys, I genuinely think that they can't do this. As you can see, it's on congress.gov. But you know what? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments field below. I think this is some really important stuff. Jump over on my X profile at Braden LOA, where we're going to spread a lot of this out as well. And I think this is a very important point of conversation. It's a very good thing to bring attention to it. It's a very good thing to be concerned about it. It's also something to understand the actual reality of if it can even be done. And according to everything that I'm looking at right now, it looks like it cannot be done. But you guys tell me. Let me know what you think in the comments field below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.